Hello there, White and Case fellows. We are going to talk about Verbatim today. Verbatim is an application you can use to help make cutting the evidence packet a lot easier and faster. It's going to be a little tough at first because it's probably something you're not used to, but once you get used to using it, I think you're really going to like it, and you're going to see how it keeps everything standardized and makes things really easy to organize, research, and find. And when we make the final product, Verbatim is going to be really useful because it's going to help us create the packet in a way that is really easy to organize and really easy to print, which is super important because, like we talked about with accessibility, um, one of the main things about accessibility is consistency and students knowing what they're using. So if the fonts or the sizes are all weird throughout the packet, kids are going to be really confused. So we want to make sure things are standardized and ready to go, right? So I'm going to walk you through. Um, I want you to sort of do these steps along with me as I'm doing them. So as you watch this video, you should be doing what I'm doing, as in downloading Verbatim, open it up, use it, make it look the way I'm looking at it, try to do it a little bit on your own, all that good stuff, right? So first thing, obviously, is we have to actually go download Verbatim. And Verbatim works with Microsoft Word. It sounds like you all already have Microsoft Word, either through your university or you have it on your own or you have some sort of copy of it. If you don't, or you find out you're not able to use it, please let me know. I can probably find some way to get you Microsoft Word. But assuming you have Microsoft Word, you don't need to have it open already. Just make sure you have it and that's accessible. Okay. So if you Google paperless debate verbatim, it'll take you to the verbatim webpage where you can download this. You can also just go to paperlessdebate.com if you're cool like that, if you want to do it like that. So this is the place where you'd actually download verbatim. We want the latest version, obviously. So you click latest version. And in here, you basically have two options. You have the PC installation or you have the Mac installation. So please take a moment to double check what kind of computer you have. Maybe you have a PC or you have a Mac, and download the one that's appropriate for you, okay? Um, if you have a PC, you have two options here. There's installer and plugins. Download the installer first, and then if you need the plugins later, you can use them. I've never actually downloaded the plugins, so I'm not sure what's in there. I'm not sure that you need them or not, but don't worry about it for now. Basically, take a minute, download this, um, and then open it up. It'll hit the verbatim exe, and then you just say, yes, I want it to make changes. And then as you go through this, there's going to be like the user agreement and then all this stuff that downloads. I do definitely recommend a start menu shortcut and a desktop menu shortcut, since you're going to be opening it quite a bit anyway. You don't need these because you can open verbatim from Microsoft Word when you open it. So don't worry about it if you click no on those. And then you'll click install. I already have this installed, so I'm not going to click install. I don't want to mess it up. But you will install. So give it a minute to fully install. It's a really small download, shouldn't take very long. Okay, go ahead and pause here. You can unpause when you have verbatim fully installed and ready to go. Okay. Okay. If you have any problems with the installation, um, when you're on this page, you can go to the installation instructions, or you can click this button, this hyperlink that says read the manual. The manual will take you to this page. If you click on getting started and then installation, there will probably be something in here that will fix your problem. Okay. Um, if you're still having problems after reading through this and trying it, let me know and we can talk it through. Okay. So now you should have verbatim, should be ready to go. Before we download any files and start tinkering with them, I want you to actually go open up your Microsoft Word, and it should look something like this when you open it up. Well, it'll look like something eventually. Okay, here we go. So yours might just open up and look like this on the front page, more or less, right? So what you want to do is, if you don't see this box at the top, basically there's a little tilde that you can hit that'll bring it up, or you can just go to view, home, whatever. It'll bring all that up, right? You want to hit this button that says verbatimize. When you hit the verbatimize button, it'll pull up these pieces, and you can keep this box open by hitting the little thumbtack up here. And you want to do that. You want this open the whole time. So that way you'll have all of this in front of you as you go through. And as you edit text, you're going to be able to just simply click on the buttons and do the formatting really quickly. So as you can see, instead of trying to go through and like underline every single card or create every single citation or whatever, now we're just hitting buttons and it's going to be a lot quicker. Okay. So make sure when you might open up Microsoft Word, yours looks like this. If it doesn't look like this, there's probably some installation prompt or something that you need to do. So again, go back to click this home button, hit the verbatimize, and if it doesn't work, it should give you some prompt about what you're supposed to do to make it work, right? Okay. So by this point, Verbatim should be downloaded and it should work and it should be plugged into your Microsoft Word. If that's not happening, please read through this manual and see if you can figure out the problem and fix it. If you can't fix it, please schedule a meeting with me on Wednesday so that we can go over it really quickly and try to knock it out. All right. So assuming everything's good, we're going to move on to the next step. Next step is actually taking the files that you've created and turning them into verbatim files. So if you haven't already started making your evidence file, don't start by making a Google Doc out of it. That will create extra work for you. It's not a ton of extra work, but it is extra work, okay? So if you're making a new file, just start in Microsoft Word. Don't start in Google Docs. Trust me, you're going to save yourself a lot of time and headache. If you've already created your file in Google Docs, don't worry about it. I'll show you how we can make it a verbatim file really easily. Um, and the stuff I'm about to teach you will also make writing papers like a million times easier. So do pay attention. This will save you a lot of time. So I just have one of our documents open. If you remember, this is the evidence comparison that we used before. It has the Debate en Español evidence and then the middle school evidence from 2016. So what we're going to do is we're going to download this as a docx file, which is what Microsoft Word opens. So we're going to go File, Download, Microsoft Word. I have Google Chrome, so it just pops up here and I can kind of click on it. But if you don't have Google Chrome or you're not sure where this downloaded to, usually there's like a downloads folder that this all goes to. So check your downloads folder, or just go down here and click in the search bar and put in the name of the thing you download and you can find it. Okay, so we click on it. It should open in Microsoft Word. Yep, and you remember when I said most Microsoft Words will open without verbatim on them? That's what happened here, right? So this is how it normally looks. So let's make it, there's a couple things we have to do to make it ready to be edited for evidence packet creation. So this first page like this, you're not going to get very far when it looks like this, all right? So first, we have to hit this verbatimize button up here. Now we've got everything in front of us for all the buttons we want to click. That's good. The second thing we want to do is hit this view button. In view, there's a few different types of modes you can look at it in. We want print layout. So remember, we're going to print all of this off for the kids. So by using print layout, we can figure out, like how long is each page? Are we keeping the evidence to every page? How is it looking when we actually get there, right? The other thing you need is you need to hit this navigation pane window. This will be called different things in different versions. Sometimes it's called like an outline. On mine, it's called the navigation pane, but the navigation pane is super, 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 super important. So you need to make sure you have it open because it's going to help you manage the file much easier and jump around much easier. Okay. So now yours should look like this. This is the mode we want to be in to actually edit the document. So take a look at what yours looks like. Yours should probably look like mine. Now, when this downloaded, it did create a few errors. So for example, this is supposed to be a footer at the end of the page, right? It's not supposed to be text that's just floating out here. So we're going to copy it. Okay. Instead, I'm using hotkeys. If you know what your hotkeys are, you should use that. Like on mine, it's Control C to copy and then Control V to paste. It's faster than using your mouse like this, but if you use the mouse, that's fine too. So we're going to cut this. You get the footer by clicking on the bottom of the page. We'll paste that in the footer. And now at the foot of every page, it did something different this time too. So there's this box in design that says different first page. We're going to unclick that. And now the footer for every page will be the same. Once Microsoft stops crashing, it'll all be the same. This computer is 3 years old. It is an older laptop. These things will happen. So bear with me as we go through these technical issues. And honestly, you don't need to worry about the header and footer too much anyway, because that's not something that you're going to have to do a lot of editing of. So don't worry about it. I'm also just going to close all these other things just to see if I can get it to reboot real quick. Okay. I'm just going to close it. Who cares? Close, close, close. What was this document called? It's like evidence comparison. Yeah. And you can see my my desktop is extremely messy. So there you go. Okay, here we're back. We'll verbatize it again. Okay. I'm not going to try to change the header and footer because that time that made it crash. But really the thing you're going to be doing here is standardizing what you've already downloaded and making sure it all fits together. So for example, when we look, we see this tag for the Debate en Español evidence is different than this tag for the middle school evidence. So we want to standardize those so that when we change everything that's the same text, it will change all of the tags at the same time. Like if we decide we want to underline them or not underline them or bold them or not bold them, it'll change them all at the same time. So for example, let me show you what that looks like. So you'll notice in the Debate en Español evidence, it's Calibri, it's 12 point, it's underlined, and it's not bolded, right? So this is the most important thing I'm going to show you today. In Microsoft Word, under the home settings, if you click on a certain type of text and you click select and you click select all text with what's called with matching with similar formatting, it'll select everything that is formatted the same way. So everything that's Calibri 12 underlined here, it'll select. So as you can see, that's only text that's in this Debate en Español evidence. The 2016 middle school evidence isn't that way. So if we were to go through and edit this text without doing what we're about to do, we would have to go card by card and edit it. We don't want to do that. We'll save some time for ourselves. So we have all this text selected. This is the card text that we want underlined. So we're going to hit emphasis, right? So now it's underlined, bolded. It is 11 font and it is Calibri, right? Now let's go down to this card. Select all text with similar formatting. This is the only text in here, right? This is the only one that looks like this. And once again, we're going to hit the emphasis button. And now guess what? This text we just changed in this card, 2016 card, is now the same style and font as the text in this card. So for all the cards we have, if we decide we want to non-bold them or non-underline them or whatever we want to do, we can do that now, right? And we do it all at once for all the cards we've put in here. So that really helps us save a lot of time. You'll notice there was a little mistake. There was a little error in this one. So let me show you. Maybe you didn't see it. Select all text similar formatting. Let's just make it 14 so it's easy to grab again. So this part here didn't change, even though it looks the same, right? So what's going on here is there is something different about the text that's making it dissimilar to the other text. So what we can do is we can open this button up, open this up, debate, and hit clear. Now this sets it back to the normal style, right? And we can see it's normal in here because it's doesn't have any differences in it. So we'll hit emphasis, bring up to 14, just like the other text. And now we'll do select all text with similar formatting. And now it selects this text, right? So we fixed the problem. So Verbatim makes that really easy. It makes it very efficient. We can do the same thing with the text. We can do it with these headers. The other important thing to know about Verbatim is when you're organizing your file, we're going to have some things that help organize the file into tiers. So for example, this debate en español, this would be the most important thing, right? It tells the students, this is what this whole file is about. It's the debate en español evidence from 2013. So that's something we want to make what's called pocket. So as we can see in the navigation pane, it sort of cascades down, right? So like, here's the pocket, here's the main affirmative team's arguments, here's the tag of that, and then here's some text underneath that. So this is what's called the pocket. This would be what's called the hat. This is F5. So the hat is right below the pocket. And then this is the block. This is F6. So the block is right below the hat. And then this would be the tag. This is F7, right? So we go from the broadest piece, the story, down to the subtopic, down to the actual like uniqueness, link, impact part of the argument, down to each particular card. So this way, if you have multiple cards, which let's just copy paste a few so we can make it look that way. So let's say you have 5 cards in here. You can find all 5 of those cards really easily. Or if you have multiple subtopics, you can go between the subtopics really easily. So just make sure those tags you wrote, make sure you use the tag function for them. Like I said before, you don't have to create these citations yet because really we're not going to use all the evidence you created. So there's no point in spending time to make those. The actual text of the evidence, you don't need to underline or do anything with. Basically, you just need to make sure the text is hit the clear button on it. So that's all the same. And this way we can change up all the text at the same time if we want to. So basically what your file, all of your evidence should look like by the time we start doing the actual editing to the evidence is it should look like this, right? So this would be the subtopic, which we use the block, the F6 for, right? Subtopics, so this would be like economia, environment, identity construction, whatever it is, right? Subtopic. And then each card has its own tag. We use the tag function for that. And then all the other text in here, we should hit F12 and clear it, right? So all of your evidence should look like this. As we get into the next phase, that's when we're actually going to be like underlining it and creating the citation and making sure it all fits together, right? So for next Thursday, when we meet, what I want is a file that looks like this. I want to have the main idea, like Debate en Español 2023. We're going to put that into Pocket. We're going to have the affirmative side in hat and then negative side in hat. And then each subtopic is going to be, it's going to have block for its formatting. And then each tag is going to have tag for its formatting. and yours is going to look exactly like this. And my recommendation, make sure you save every once in a while, because like you just saw before, sometimes working with these macros, with these buttons, it causes some internal problems, especially if you have an older computer like I do. It might just crash on you, right? So definitely save every once in a while, probably every 10 or 15 minutes. You don't have to back up your work too much. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Otherwise, keep cracking away at the files and do your best to get Verbatim downloaded and use it like this. Your file can look like this. Okay? Show me something on Thursday. Let's get it. Thanks, everyone.